Okay.
Good job, Beck. It's all set.
Thank you. I'm getting better at this. I think, I hope. So hi, everybody. It's good to see you all. I'm sorry we couldn't meet in person, but turns out that we're sort of the walking wounded here tonight. So anyway, maybe next time we'll be able to meet in person.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
And also, oh, you know what I heard is that the town is working on the capacity to have hybrid meetings. So,
Yeah, they're installing the equipment at the center next week.
Yep. Oh, great. So
Yep.
that will enable some folks to be live and some folks to be virtual, right?
Right. I believe that you have to have, there's a percentage of the numbers in a committee that has to be there in person, and the other percentage can be virtual to make it a valid meeting, but I don't know what that is yet.
Okay. Yep. And then do you have to meet in a certain location where their capacity is available?
I think that right now, the only place is going to be the adult community center.
Okay. So maybe if we're still having the issue, and then like if people want to, let's see now, if it's a committee that doesn't have a secretary, and other people that aren't on the committee want to join, would that be like, if we're hybrid, would that be sort of my job to be monitoring and live and the virtual thing?
This is so new to me, Becky. I asked today what the plan was, and Rebecca Eldridge said, I don't think they have a plan yet. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there's some kind of protocol for this.
Exactly. Well,
So-
to me, if it's recorded, for instance, I think it's a really good thing, because that way, after the meeting is over, whoever is going to reduce it to written minutes can use the recording to do that.
Right. Okay. So it
I'm
doesn't
taking some
require
notes.
that you're right. It doesn't
I'm taking
require
some
that
notes along with.
Yeah, it doesn't require that one person handle both.
I don't think that would be possible. I mean, especially since personally, if I get involved in a discussion, I forget to take minutes anyway.
All
So
right.
I like the recording. It's really very
Exactly.
helpful.
Yep. So, okay, well, hopefully we'll have more information about that, and I'll be able to email it to everybody before the next meeting so we can figure out at least to meet in a hybrid version instead of all via Zoom, unless this is better for people. But anyway, so I wanted to start with the first item on the agenda, which is the budget, recreation budget and town meeting. And I met with Charlie Subner, the acting town administrator, for another, couple weeks, I think. Right?
Yeah.
But he's going to be presenting the budget at town meeting, I believe.
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Yeah.
And explaining how it works.
Right. Because it was really his budget, not the new town administrator. But anyways, so he had asked us to come up with a plan of reducing what we had asked for in November by a 2.5% and a 5% reduction. And just to review what we asked for in November, what that got unanimously approved by the select board and the finance committee, were just modest increases to cover increased wages for seasonal employees, the summer folks, mostly, because the employment market is so difficult right now to find employees to work. And even with the proposed raises that we got approved by the select board, it's been difficult to find counselors because it's just, they make $20 an hour at Stop and Shop, and then $24 an hour if they work as nighttime stocking. So even with our increases, it's difficult to find, these young folks are in college and they need to make the most they can, and that's understandable. So So the two figures that we gave him with regard to the rec budget, a 2.5% reduction would be $9,660, and a 5% reduction would be $19,321. And it's all would have to come out of the seasonal line. And what I explained to Mr. Subner and Charlie, and was that would be the rec department would take a real hit for programming, especially the summer programming, and also our ability to use the elementary school as a community center. And the way that what I explained was the way that we sold that when we were presenting the budget initially, and throughout the 3 or 4 years that we've been sort of promoting this, is that in lieu of asking for a building or a community center, which was requested by a group in the community, we have been modestly increasing staff in order to create the concept of a community center without walls, and in addition to utilizing buildings and facilities that already exist, and the move to the elementary school and the partnership with the school, and using not just the gymnasium, but the rest of the school as for classes and programming on weekends and after school hours. We never were fully able to realize that. And Carrie, I just let Carrie Cox. Hi, Carrie. I'll just let her in. But anyway, so we moved into the school in 2019, and then COVID happened, and we never got to fully realize this. And what I explained to him was that a hit like this to the budget would sort of set us backwards in our ability to do that. And I also explained that last year was the first year that we had to actually turn people away from the summer rec program because we had more demand than there was available spots. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. We were taking non-residents and also some residents from other towns, because their rec programs had been scaled back because of not being able to get staff after COVID. But now we're just taking residents, including the domiciled folks in Wellfleet, and also the folks that own homes whose grandma and grandpa have a house here, and they have sort of rotating children and nieces and nephews that come too. And we're having a little class in this room now, so it's going to be a little noisy, but not too noisy. But anyway, I just wanted to, I guess we both, Suzanne and I both really wanted to meet to just encourage folks to tell people to come to town meeting and then vote in the election or on the ballot questions rather, to support the budget that of the select board, the original budget, which includes an override, and the override would make it so that we didn't have to have these cuts. And the problem is that a lot of people are connecting the override to the financial problems that the town is having, and there really is no connection between the two. And if they don't vote for the override, it's not going to punish the folks that caused that issue to happen. It's going to just mean that, like, the library is not open as many hours, the transfer station is not open as many hours, rec can't take in as many kids, that kind of thing. So Charlie has been trying to explain it. He explains it really, really well. And I kind of encouraged him to make like a little video and put it on the town website and Facebook or wherever, where he explains that there isn't a connection between the override and the budget. the override and the financial issue that the town is having. But there's been a lot of, I don't know, reporting in the papers that's kind of sensationalizes it and makes it seem like somebody's running around with all this money in their pockets when that's not the case. It was mostly a clerical issues involving high staff turnover and folks in those positions that weren't being properly trained and not properly supported in what they were doing. So I just really wanted you guys to know that it's kind of important. It's very important to support the override for, for town services to be maintained at the level that they are. And not only that, for them not to have to be, it's not just a level fund, it's also preventing cuts that the rec department would take a big hit if they were, if the override doesn't pass. So that's what I explained to him, and I think that's what he explained. I wasn't able to go to the select board meeting the other night, but Suzanne was just saying before the meeting that she explained that the other night. So hopefully they will be explaining that to folks when they go to vote, but we just want to do a little preemptorily explaining to people, and Suzanne has her hand up, so.
Yeah, thanks, Beck. I just wanted to, one thing that came up at the select board meeting this Tuesday when this was on the, under discussion from the agenda, was that if the override for the operating budget fails this year, these are going to be permanent cuts. We'll not be able to reinstitute whatever the cuts are without another override, so that you're not avoiding an override by not voting on it. You're just pushing it off to another year, and you'll still be without services. So I think it's really important. There are a number of overrides, and this one is a little bit over $500,000, and it's for the operating budget. The other ones are for different other questions, but we're mainly, Becky and I are mainly concerned with the operating budget override.
Okay.
How do I find the impact? Like, where do I see the numbers? Where can I find it?
It was in the selectmen's packet for Tuesday
Okay.
night. If you go to the website and go to their packet, it's listed.
Okay.
And my understanding is that the override represents like the Charlie Sumner's attempt, or the town's he and his team's attempt to fund the budget in a more conventional manner rather than all these years in trying to avoid an override. Folks were like, I don't know, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. And there's a little more money in the ambulance funds. We'll use that as a stopgap. And, do we really need to fix the backstops, which were the same backstops from when I was a kid in the 70s that were, from the Hunger Games, they were falling apart, and, they let stuff get so like, they put off funding things so that they won't have an override. And the way he explains it is that it's much healthier to just fund it the way it's supposed to be funded, and then stuff doesn't get so dilapidated, and you don't have to put off huge capital projects in order to fund the operating budget. And I mean, it seemed to him, at least from what I understand, that previous folks that were town administrators, really it was like a black mark on their record to have an override, so they held out all the stops to avoid it, even though it might not have been the best thing for the overall health of the town as a whole. So this is an attempt to say, okay, we're not just going to use up all our free cash. We're not just going to, put off maintaining our buildings or maintaining our infrastructure because we want to avoid it at all costs. He thinks that it's the first time, I guess, since I don't know, the 90s that they're asking for this. So, and some towns ask for overrides all the time, according to other folks that were at this department head meeting. We have a few people from Provincetown saying like, what's the big deal? Provincetown gets one every year kind of thing. So I think it's just a bad timing because of the financial problems of Wellfleet are happening at the same time as we're asking for an override, and they have nothing to do with each other. I think if we weren't having financial problems or those issues with the high turnover in the administration hadn't happened, that possibly there wouldn't be so much pushback and anger. But unfortunately, that's the case, and that's, unfortunate, but it would be unfortunate to take such a big hit to all the departments and programs and mine and, the beach department, the library, the DPW, folks that have been here the whole time, sort of, through the pandemic, trying to reach out to the community and do the best we can and sort of go with the flow, even though we had no real support from the administration at town hall. And so it just, I don't know if the public realizes that not voting for the override is going to hurt us, and it's not going to hurt the folks that cause these issues to happen. So I just wanted to let you know that was the case. And just encourage everybody. Town meeting is Saturday, June 11th at the baseball field outside at 10 o'clock. And we still need volunteers. I just got the call from Danny Silverman again. Usually Rec provides microphone wranglers to run around to people at their seats who don't want to go up to the mic, and just logistics to help. We're having our first meeting, I guess, next week. He'll tell us exactly what he needs, but for the past, 2 town meetings, we've provided for 3 or 4, sometimes more. I think Maggie did it one year, and we had some
She did, and she had an awesome sunburn.
I know, that was hot. One of our volunteers got
It was like blister. It was hilarious.
wearing the mask. It was like crazy. So I don't know if you guys have any questions about this. The budget itself with the actual numbers is in the select board packet, which is online. So you can
I'm
see.
still trying to find it. So it's select board packet, just because if I talk to anyone, I want to be able to talk numbers, that kind of thing. That's all.
Right. It's unfortunately the packet's like 175 pages long, so you have to pour through it. But
Go to
it's an
bed
Excel
and-
spreadsheet that shows the department, how much is being cut and what will be impacted.
So should I look? I'm going to be looking under department rec and its budget.
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right.
It's all on one page, which is helpful.
Yeah, and our number of the budget is 630 is recreation.
Got it. Okay.
So
Under culture and recreation.
yeah, and what I said basically was that there would be a 30% reduction in the amount of children we could take in the swim program, and then maybe the extended rec program would have to be either really, really minimized or cut completely, depending on how much they decided to cut. And then, moving forward into the fall season of not being able to offer as much at the elementary school and that we had planned to do. And again, these were modest increases in lieu of a community center. And even the chair of the finance committee said, it's amazing how much more you're able to offer for such a small amount of money that you're asking for. And, they never have been said that to me. It was like the last couple of years have been the first time in the, what is it?
27 years.
Right, that I've been doing this, that they've actually said, we're very impressed with this plan for moving forward, and that your creative use of, because this like we've gone over before, the school is a gorgeous site that the town pays to maintain, and it's only used until 2 o'clock in the afternoon and not at all on the weekends by the school. And so it seemed like a natural thing for us to be here, and it's been great. We, this year, even as the COVID restrictions lifted, the kids were dismissed to our office. We had lots of after school programs. We did a hip hop class. We did a jewelry making class. We did, with all sorts of stuff in the gym, and it's great. I mean, it's great to be at the school. The kids get dismissed to us. They have snack. We have a huge preschool classroom that they gave us. We walk them down to the gym or outside, or, the classes we had were in this classroom, but the principal and the staff at West has said that we could use the art room, we can use the music room, we can do cooking, we can do adult programs, but we have to staff it. We have to be able to staff it, and that's where these cuts come in. And so we've never been able to fully realize this vision, which we're poised to fully realize. And also with the pavilion at Bakersfield, I mean, that last fall, we did a bunch of classes there. We're poised to do more classes there and events there. With the pavilion, everybody loves it. The stage that we got, which was put in last fall, we got the money for that. We did a few events there. So we have the facility, but that was the mistake that was made in Harwich when they had their community center, because they built this, at the time, whatever it was, $5-6 million thing, community center. And they were like, okay, enough money, we can't staff it. So it was like the equivalent of a staff of me and Angel, and expecting them to be there at 6 a.m. to open the weight room and stay open till 10 o'clock at night, and then on weekends. And my counterpart in Harwich was like, hey, wait a minute, and they had very limited hours, and then the community was balking, hey, we paid $5 million for a community center and you're not paying to staff it, kind of thing. But we're not paying $5 million or it probably is double now for what that would cost. For that, we're just asking for the staffing hours. And that is such a crucial piece if you want to have 7-day a week programming on nights and weekends, and which is what we determined that what the community told us they really wanted and would utilize. So that's what we're looking at. And so that's where we stand with the budget and town meeting. And I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything they want to add, or it's, we're hoping that people understand the situation and will come to town meeting and vote, and then go to the ballot the following week and vote for the override. And it was a real mess, but it seems to be really untangling now. And the people put in place, the auditors and Charlie Sumner and the new folks that have been hired in those positions of town accountant and treasurer, or is it treasurer and town clerk and treasurer? I forget, like Dawn's position got separated. So anyway, there's 2 people doing her job, but they're really good, and they're very motivated and positive, and sorting I think there's going to be some closure to the 20 and 21 books, and Charlie's optimistic that the state will certify free cash before town meeting, and that they'll have definitively, they can say that there was no malfeasance, there was no corruption, no misappropriation of funds. It was simply a clerical errors that were a result of high turnover and the town switching from one computer system to another in the middle of all the turnover that caused, the discrepancies that were found. So we're hoping that people understand that. We'll understand that not voting for it, the override, only hurts them. It doesn't hurt the people that that caused, that were in charge when this happened are no longer working for the town. They're not going to get punished, if the override doesn't pass. And so that's the best I can explain it. Charlie explains it much better. There are videos of him at the Wellfleet Community Forum meeting explaining it, and they're on the town website, and I actually watched a few of them, and he got grilled pretty badly, and not badly, but just grilled about it. And he explains it very well. And then Mike DeVasto, who just was a select board member when all this was happening and just won re-election. But if you look at on candidates night, he also got grilled about it because he was a board member during this time, and he explains it very well as well. So they can probably illuminate, if you watch those, you can, but I'm hoping that Charlie will be able to do something before town meeting and put something together and put it on the website so people have a better idea of where we're going from here, and the fact that he's probably going to be able to announce at town meeting that they've rectified the situation, we hope. But that's where we are right now. So that's that. And if you want, I can forward you the spreadsheet that I gave to him on Monday, which shows, or Tuesday, when do we meet with him?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
It shows, right, the days are melding together, but as I go from umpiring softball to coming here to doing hiring staff, and
Yeah,
it's all good.
one day.
I know,
Balance.
right? It's a good thing I can spin a lot of plates, but I can show you the exact numbers and then what my explanation to him was.
Can I have it? Yeah, I'd like that, just because people ask questions and I want to be able to give.
Thanks for
something
explaining that, Becky.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome. So does anyone have any questions about any of that?
No, I think that's good. That we just need to make sure that people understand that one thing doesn't have to do with another, and to
Right.
vote for the override.
Right. And that not voting for it is only gonna hurt them.
It's going to hurt a lot of people who rely on services like the library and recreation and the transfer station. I mean, it's not frills that are going to be going, because we're pretty much scaled down to the bare necessities already, and we're going to lose some bare necessities.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so mark down on your calendars, June 11th, Saturday, 10 o'clock, ball field. The budget is the first article, so that's gonna get a lot of, people won't have to stay till the end of the meeting to hear those, hear those votes. And then it would be, when is the ballot, Suzanne?
June 21st.
June 21st at the ballot. To vote for that.
There'll be questions from town meeting and one seat on the select board, because when Helen stepped down, she didn't step down in enough days of advance to be on the last election. So there'll be that one seat will be on the ballot as well.
So, okay, well, moving on, Peggy Donahue from Friends of Recreation was going to join us, but she had shoulder surgery a couple days ago, and she didn't feel up to joining the Zoom, but she did give me an update because Rhonda had asked for an update from Friends of Recreation. So the balance of the amount in the fund right now is $5,499.56. That is there now, and she submitted the tax form for last year, and she told me that, and I mean, I can tell you that we really in the last couple years couldn't do anything with they usually help us with Billingsgate, the tournament we do every March, but we weren't able to do it. Well, this is the third year we weren't able to do it because the shutdown happened right in 2020 and then 2021. And then this year, at the time when we were planning it in February, the school had implemented a policy of no outside groups in the school because they were still having issues with COVID, and they didn't actually lift the mask mandate until March or middle of March, I think, at the school. So she wants to figure out how to support us as we open up, and I asked her if we could have a meeting to, when she is recovered from her shoulder surgery, to, you know, go over where we move forward from here with FOR. But right now, that's, you know, that's where we are with it. And
Well, can we get a sense, Becky, of, is that a little money? Is that a lot of money? Does Peggy and that committee or that group ever fundraise? Because I've never been aware of them fundraising. So is that 5,400 a good sum of money, or is it lacking? Or
no, that's, I mean, that's a good sum of money. That's, you know, they contribute to, some of it was pickleball. When we started out the pickleball program, the money that we collected went to them, and they'll probably do this again this year. They split the cost of redoing the gym floor at the elementary school. So the recreation department took over the cost of buffing and polyurethaning that floor because we use it so much, and the school was only doing it every other year instead of every year. And if you don't do it every year, it gets really slippery. It's, you know, it's a really nice wooden floor, and it's worth maintaining. So the money that we were generating from pickleball before the shutdown helps to pay for that. And then, you know, they did subsidize Billingsgate. They helped pay for extras. Like last year, we did during the shutdown, we did a ice skating program, because that was one of the few things we could offer in the winter when we couldn't do basketball. So they, you know, we did a nice program through Charles Moore Arena, where FOR helped pay for skating lessons. And we had our budget only pays for 1 or 2 public skating times, but they helped pay for, you know, increased skate, because that was something that we could actually do in the winter with the kids, because it was, you know, we still had restrictions, and there had to be, you know, we had to do these elaborate signups and stuff, but at least they could, you know, they could do something. So so yeah, I mean, they pay for extras. To answer your question, that's pretty much a good amount to have as kind of seed money for doing some other things. And as far as fundraising goes, they used to do things like they would sponsor at the Easter egg hunt. Folks would bake stuff and sell, you know, baked goods at the Easter egg hunt to raise money for FOR. Peggy was involved in that for a bunch of years. We had a soda machine at Bakersfield that they sort of paid for and then got the proceeds from, and that was a way of generating income. But I think, you know, Peggy, her youngest daughter just graduated from college and she started doing this, I think, when her youngest daughter was, I think, at least in, I want to say maybe even elementary and middle school. She has 3 children, and it's Caroline and her son William were very involved in rec, and so a lot of parents in that group, age range group, used to be involved in rec more, in Friends of Rec more. But as they their kids kind of aged out, and now it's kind of just her. And we were looking at meeting, you know, right before the shutdown, and then that happened, and then, you know, we decided to do pickleball through the town because it had gotten so popular that it was time to fund it through the budget instead of having it be an auxiliary. But for the beginning of the pickleball, when it was kind of like a fledgling thing and we weren't sure it was really gonna, we really needed to fund it through the budget, like how many people are really gonna play this. But then of course it took off to be the most popular sport of any sport that we ever offered. So we decided that it should really go through the budget. So now those, let's see, that money and that program gets administered through the rec budget as opposed to through FOR. So that was
Right.
the last big thing that they sort of sponsored. They enabled us to do pickleball. They bought a lot of the equipment at the beginning. They helped resurface the floor. We used the money that was collected in fees for that.
Mhm. I guess
Um,
my point is that, that four really could really be direct donation for Friends of Rec, or it could be, buy your t-shirt because money goes for this instead of, fees for this or fees for that. Because really, just like the library, it's like, you want donations. But anyways, I guess we can
Yeah.
talk about that at another time. And that's really kind
Well,
of been the point all along is Peggy burned out candidly, or does, she want to continue on, but, less bake sales since
well,
we're not allowed.
Carrie, do you remember this, Carrie? We met with her not too long before the shutdown. And I think we were gonna try to find out if a member of the rec committee could be on FOR. And I wasn't sure about that. If that's a conflict for somebody that's appointed by the select board to be also on. Suzanne, do you know? Suzanne, are you still here?
I muted myself. I was making noise.
Oh, okay.
The only instance I know, there are two members of the Friends of the Council on Aging who are also on the Council on Aging board. And the state limits it to two members back and forth. So I have a suspicion that within reason, one member from the rec committee being on FOR would not be a problem.
Okay, so
I was actually technically, this is how the conversation came about. I was already on it before I joined rec. And that's when a lot of people that were on it, like myself, our kids were starting to age out. So the committee started to somewhat dwindle, or the Friends of the FOR dwindled.
Right.
But I just happened to be with the rec committee, and that's how I think this started. Becky and I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm technically, I think I was on that. And frankly, I'd only been on it for like maybe 6 months, not even a year, met maybe 3 times with other members. So, and you were mentioning this, the fundraising. I'm like, I don't even remember. I think the biggest event was the Oyster Fest. I thought we might have had some
Didn't
activity.
you guys sell hot dogs?
I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, but I know that was something.
Hot dogs. I don't.
No, we did a number of, there was the boogie. the
Right,
Wellfleet.
that's right.
We did a number of music things.
But as far as 4,
over the years. For 4, yeah.
Yeah, that
4,
was
really,
through
see,
20.
that's what
4 from Billingsgate. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, Billingsgate, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, because the snacks were always done by 4 at
Correct.
Billingsgate. Not
Okay.
always, but as I remember.
Mhm.
I
So
took,
I think it's time to talk
yeah,
to.
no, I
people
started
talk to each
them.
other, you know?
What was
Yeah,
that,
I was in
Christine?
I ran concessions at Billingsgate for both places a long time. And then class of 2019 at the high school took over because, well, we were using their gym. So they
Right, but
used
was
it
the concession stand for
for
or was
Billingsgate.
it rec committee? Like, I can't remember that part.
The monies came from 4, but the tournament.
Right, so
Very
when we
nice.
were at the concession stand, we were 4. We
Four,
weren't-
yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
because the
the
rec
money from the
committee, the rec
concession
committee
stand
can't be
to
taking
forest.
money.
Right,
Yes,
Didn't even know that. Okay.
it went back in.
Um,
Yep.
Right, so that's the
So-
point is like our rec committee, of course, isn't allowed to take money. So four is the representative arm of our, of our anything extra fund. So we need to start doing some fundraising and thinking ahead to that, just so that, Becky has some funds for whatever it is she needs it for.
right, right. And there is a large group of young kindergarten, first and second grade parents that will want to be involved more. We have one opening on the rec committee, and one parent of a kindergartner has approached me and wants to fill out the paperwork to do that. So I can contact her. She's a nurse at Outer Cape Health. I'm trying to remember her last name. Her first name is Rachel and her daughter's name is Nova, but I can't remember her last name. Anyway, really nice, very smart, they're very, have a lot of energy and want to be involved and appreciate rec. And I think that if Carrie, if you're still willing to be the liaison, and when Peggy is better, we can meet again and just try to figure out to get it going and get some folks. Carrie also knows some young parents in town that we've been sort of cultivating. And again, the whole COVID thing got in the way, but they still have reached out to us and want to be involved. So, absolutely, we could get them on board with fundraising, especially if we're gonna open up that preschool or toddler playground at the adult community center there and other things.
Yeah, the other thing that folks might not know is that as liaisons from rec to the CPC, we were able to get the elementary school $315,000 to go towards their playground because
Playground, yes.
they've
Yeah, so
had
that was
Good
really
job.
good.
yeah, they've had none for the last several years at this point. So I mean, Becky was instrumental in helping Mary Beth, understand the process, and they were able to move forward with that. We were able to put there. It was really a priority of the CPC this year to help get the monies that we were able to. So they're in process of getting that, and it should be up during the summer. So it's like, maybe in the fall we have like a kickoff for them, and have a hot dog stand, or do something that's just family fun for for early fall, or something to celebrate that, because that's really a big deal for the town kids. We should be super proud of that. And thanks to Becky and Suzanne for supporting that idea through
No,
CPC.
I totally agree. And especially after COVID, like people are ready to get out. We're pretty well managed right now, hopefully everyone. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be really good to just be all in on some kind of fundraising or gathering or both.
Yeah, and I really see that going through, through four as just literally a glorious community event.
Absolutely. And it just makes sense. I mean, the school's being used as a community center, and we really reiterated that to the committee that, it's not just for the school population from, 9 to 2, Monday through Friday, but it's going to get used by the rec department and the community as well. And they're being genuinely so open, having opening up the school to the community, so
Mhm.
genuine in that. And so I think that was a big part of their getting CPC funding, was their willingness in working with us for the last 3 or 4 years to make it happen and give us an office here and really embrace the town departments and the town, Mary Beth the principal came from a model of using the school as a community center. And so she really was instrumental in pushing it and having people get on board with it. So it just made sense to support the playground effort, and it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's huge. And then Suzanne and Becky have been working on creating the toddler playground that's at the senior center, opening that in a more formal way with the DPW cutting the weeds there and stuff, and it's going to actually turn into a real toddler playground, and townspeople will be more aware of it, as a town property.
Yeah, we did include funding for a portable toilet out there, and it's just much more suitable for real toddlers. It's got a fence around it. It used to be used by the sea babies, which used that used to be housed at the well, it's called the Adult Community Center now, but the COA. But anyway, it wasn't built that long ago, and the O'Brien and son, Nancy O'Brien, is going to go, Suzanne, and formally inspect it, but I sent her pictures and she said it looks fine to her. So the DPW might put a bench over, or they're going to put a bench over there, and we're going to have the porta potty over there. So it's a little cumbersome at Bakersfield because there's no fence. And so if grandma and grandpa have a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, they can't just sit and watch them because they have to chase them around.
Yeah.
They can go under the rec building. They can go out towards the street. This will enable grandma and grandpa to be able to sit and watch, or even mom and dad, or, maybe Ron and I were talking about like a picnic table with one of those umbrellas that you could just sit and watch the kids, and have a spot that a lot of the parents of real little ones say that to us. I mean, we have at Bakersfield has appropriate equipment for them, but because it's so much doesn't have a fence around it, it's difficult when they're between, toddler.
Becky, are they going to fill the sandbox with sand? I haven't been over there lately.
Yes, that's on the list. We're going to get the wood chips replenished and get this, get everything, the sandbox filled with, it's amazing how much they love the sandbox being right across from the beach, but they still like it.
Yes, they do.
To have that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great.
So this playground will be all spruced up for spring, summer.
Great.
Spring.
Thank you.
It's
For that.
incredibly accommodating. I mean, do many other towns have a toddler playground?
Well, here's the deal is that, okay, I'm your liaison to the CPC. And the way that this originated was the CPC asked about sea babies. And because we allocated, I think it was close to $45,000 to $50,000 to sea babies to create that. And then a bunch of the members knew that it was not being utilized, that sea babies had gone, was not using it. And with that much money invested, candidly, there were members there that, that wanted to see it used, because the investment that that we invested for the town in general. So Becky and Suzanne have taken that in hand and have been running with it, and I personally am very grateful for that.
I mean, really, this is like bragging rights. We should boast that we have a toddler playground, because I don't really think a lot of towns do. And, it is a need. We never thought about that 40 years ago. No, but it's a new world. And that's the way parents are thinking. It is tough not having something like that. So that's great.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we could get a sign, but it's just one more expense, Wellfleet toddler
tell people
playground.
That we have a toddler playground. You don't think I'm not going to? I didn't know about it till now.
Well, that's just it.
One,
It's a lot of
the
people
closest
don't
one I
know
know
about
of
it.
is in Dennis.
They don't know about
It's
it.
John
What's
Kelly.
Dennis? Where's Dennis?
Johnny Kelly. Yeah, Johnny Kelly
look
has
it
a,
up.
yeah, it's a soft landing. And they're talking about
So yeah, so good. We're happy about that. And so moving on, the last item on the agenda was to just talk about the summer rec program a little bit. So I just wanted everyone to know that we have a new director for the Bakersfield program. His name is Andy Havens, and he has been running the after-school program at the elementary school quite successfully. He's got waiting lists of kids, and they have it right above me here at the elementary school in the cafeteria, and I hear them running around, laughing, playing. So he's been very creative with that program, and the parents are very happy with it. And he also ran a program, a summer rec program in Florida for many years. So he and I have been working together to sort of revamp the schedule of rec, and it's very exciting. We have a lot of counselors that are new this year, because I think a lot of our counselors were seniors in college and sort of just getting year-round real job kind of things, or having commitments where they couldn't come back. So we've got a great group of counselors, some of them returning, but most of them new. And so we're very excited about that program. We started signups 72 hours ago, and it's almost full. So I am looking to hire a few more counselors to finish, to be able to accommodate more children. And the swim program, we have also some openings at that program. We have a new director there who's coming from Florida. She has 12 years experience teaching Red Cross lessons. She just got her master's degree from Barry University, and she, she's very excited and motivated to come to the Cape. And then Patrick Finn, who has been working with us for years now at the Gull Pond, also as one of Suzanne's at the life beach department as a lifeguard and a trainer. And then we have some returning instructors and a few new ones, but also no other town, Eastham had to stop their swim program because they didn't get their staff back after needing to shut down from COVID. So Wellfleet's the only town that offers swim lessons from Provincetown, and Orleans, I guess, offers them. But right now it's just residents, not even folks that are visiting, which is it's really hard, because you want kids to learn. Of course, you want everybody to feel comfortable learning how around the water, and the kids to be able to swim a little bit before their parents take them to the ocean. And it behooves us all. I think it's one of the oldest programs. My sister is 71 and she learned how to swim there. And I know I think it's one of the oldest rec programs for that reason, that the town realized that really it behooved us to teach the kids how to swim. So I really hope, and Suzanne and I were talking about this, that it's only going to be this 1 year, that we need to limit it to residents only and not visitors for both programs, because it really creates such a nice meeting place for the folks that are visiting and the folks that live here, and they're meeting each other as parents, not like I'm your waitress or whatever, renting your house kind of thing. They're just the lifelong friendships that develop between the sort of domiciled residents, non-resident taxpayers, and the visitors. It's very healthy for the town to have that avenue for them to be all interacting together. And it's actually one of my favorite parts of the whole thing is, the counselors that started when I got this job are now getting married, and they're all still friends, and they're going to each other's weddings. And it's nice that they met through rec and worked for us, and now they're still friends with each other. And so this summer we had to really limit it because of staffing and just the sort of impending budget cuts. So it's hard to turn people away, and we hope that we'll be able to accommodate the non-residents, the visitors that come for a couple weeks. And in the past, we've even been able to accommodate the Truro residents to take swimming lessons because they don't offer it. But now that Eastham also doesn't offer it, it just became too much for us to absorb both towns. So we had to just make the decision to limit it to just Wellfleet, which is too bad. So we're hoping that the budget gets funded and that the townspeople see the benefit of teaching as many people as possible to swim, learn how to swim on this end, on the Outer Cape or the Cape in general, but especially, Wellfleet and Truro and Eastham, because it behooves all of us to do that. So we're fortunate to have such a such a well credentialed staff with Patrick Finn and Belinda Del Torre coming in, and then we're starting to again build up the instructors. In 2020 we couldn't have the swim program, and that we lost all of our instructors because they got other jobs. Now we're cultivating the young ones who are now 16, 17, 18 to stick with us and get certified. And Patrick can certify them to be lifeguards. That's a carrot to get them in. The town pays for them to be lifeguards. Now we're trying to get him to get certified to teach WSI, which is water safety instruction. And those are great credentials for them to have as they go on to college. Then they'll have, it's like a $400 or $500 certification if you do it on your own. So we've been semi-successful at attracting the young swimmers to teach with us, with Patrick and Belinda. It's a huge opportunity for them, and we get nothing but accolades about it. I mean, people that are signing up, and they have to now get vetted through me. So I talk to them all, and they're like just gushing about how much their kids learned at swim lessons, and also the rec program, and the ones we have to say no to, they understand, but they're just really sad that they can't participate. So it's got a really good reputation still, and we're really, really trying to make sure that we can maintain that with the staffing and the salary increases that we've gotten past. And Suzanne, you had your hand up. What were you gonna say something about the swim program?
I was just going to say that one of the limitations that Becky is under is a safety limitation. She can only have X amount of children with X amount of staff. So over this next winter, we'll be brainstorming on how to get more staff. And I have a couple of ideas that I haven't run before, Beck, but I'd like to talk to her about it first, and then we can bring them to the committee.
Great.
Yeah, and Suzanne's been great about supporting the swim program by sending, well, last summer there were a couple of instructors that were also lifeguards, and then this year she budgeted for a lifeguard in her budget, in the beach budget, to be at the Gull Pond swim program, and from 9 to 12. So we'll have a lifeguard. So that frees up one of our instructors, doesn't have to then guard the beach. They can all be teaching, and the lifeguard that she's supplying is going to be watching the water. So
The water, that's great.
so that is,
Thanks,
that
Suzanne.
is wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're working together to definitely bolster that program, make sure that it stays viable and safe and staffed. And how many towns can have swim lessons at such a beautiful location? I mean, you got the docks there. It's perfect for swim lessons. And most people, their kids only can take swim lessons at indoor swimming pools. So to have such a nice, beautiful spot that to have lessons, people really, really appreciate that.
Mhm,
So
very much so.
we're glad about that.
Good.
Yeah, so that's the
Becky,
summer
everyone,
program.
I've
sort
got
of
some new business.
in a nutshell. We didn't get to do Billingsgate, but Angel and I are planning an outdoor 3-on-3 tournament in June for the basketball folks. So we're gonna put out the flyers for that. Their kids are mostly middle school, high school, and adult, but they're very excited about that. So we're gonna do music and a food truck and just celebrate being able to do stuff again. So Kev, we might tap you to do the book or come by if you're around. Kevin was a stalwart at Billingsgate doing the book all those years. But anyway, so
Becky,
what's that?
Becky,
I heard you.
Oh, good. I
I'm
thought you were gonna say, I
multitasking.
didn't have I was, I
Unfortunately-
muted you.
Oh, unfortunately, I may be working though that day.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a Sunday. It's Sunday, June 12th is what we're planning.
Same problem.
Okay, sounds good. We'll keep you posted.
Sure, please do.
Okay, good. Yeah. Kevin has nerves of steel doing the book. He doesn't get frazzled by
Becky,
all the excitement.
hi, excuse me, Becky,
Yep.
I've got some new business I'd like to discuss.
Is this Christine?
It is.
Okay, yep. Go ahead, Christine.
So I've been approached, let me pull up my work email. The community organizer for the Community Development Partnership has reached out to me regarding the proposed 95 Lawrence Road affordable housing development in Wellfleet. I did let her know that we were having a meeting this week tonight, and that I would see if anybody would like to join me. But basically, they would like to set up a meeting with us via Zoom to hear our thoughts and answer any questions or concerns that we may have about the proposed development.
Well, Christine, hi, it's Rhonda.
I haven't set anything up yet. I told her, I'd get back to her.
Hey, Christine, hi, it's Rhonda.
Hi,
One of
Rhonda.
the ways that we were able to, just one of the ways of the many ways that we were able to get so much money for the playground was the thought behind 95 Lawrence, and the fact that that playground after school time and on vacations would be a community use playground. So that's kind of in the works. I don't know if that was the thought behind that, is that that playground is going to be part of the neighborhood.
Right, and Rhonda, I actually just sent you the email, so if anybody would like to join me, I have yet to set it up. Her name is Mallory.
Do you know what her goal is in having us join?
Let's see. She said, well, she's part of CDP and conducting outreach. She's reaching out to multiple municipal officials from Wellfleet. I don't know if she's contacted you, Suzanne, or if you've heard of anything, but I have a work connection. I have a work connection with CDP, so maybe that's how she got my email. I don't know.
They probably reached out to the housing people, maybe the joint task force for 95 Lawrence Road. They may have reached out to them, but it hasn't gotten to my desk yet. I'd love to talk about what they're envisioning there, because it's going to be a brand new neighborhood, and I'd love to see
Oh yeah.
and talk about options and opportunities with them.
Shall I invite you? Anybody? You want me to send it to
If you would
everybody?
include me, Christine, I would appreciate it.
I would love to do that, Suzanne, and anybody else if you're interested.
Yeah, I would be
coordinate it.
interested. It's
Yeah,
Rhonda.
definitely include me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. I will.
Why not? Me
I'll
too.
respond. Yeah.
I
Kevin,
haven't seen anybody in a long time, even on Zoom.
going once. Would you like me to coordinate with you, Kevin, as well? Maybe not. Okay. So yeah, I'll coordinate it.
Excellent. Good job, Christine.
That's
So
all I had for new business. That's all I had.
great. No, it's very exciting. When are they supposed to break ground on that? Do you know? Do you know, Christine, when they're gonna break ground on that?
I do not. That's why when I initially responded to her, I said I would like to get some of my fellow committee members involved.
Excellent.
You know, I know Rhonda's still working with CPC, and I know Suzanne would have her finger on the pulse.
Fantastic. So is there any other business that and people would like to discuss for tonight?
Becky,
Go
it's
ahead.
Suzanne.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Go ahead.
I just want to thank you for putting this meeting together. I think it's been really informative.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to do it. It was so weird to figure out how to meet. And I know everybody wants to meet in person, but it is good to connect with all of you and just sort of get back on a normal, discussing normal things that don't involve restrictions and COVID and everything else. And we're glad you could make it, Suzanne. So,
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yep. So,
Yeah, this is good. This is really good.
absolutely. So I'll send you all a copy of this spreadsheet that I sent to Charlie, and also let's see, Rhonda, we're going to be in touch about the toddler playground.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I think I expire from my membership as a committee member next month. So I need to know what to do about that as well.
Rhonda,
Yes.
it's Suzanne, if you call Rebecca Eldridge at
Yeah.
349-0300 and
Yeah.
say you'd like to be reappointed to the rec committee, we can make sure that goes on the agenda for the select board.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I don't know does anyone else know if their term is expiring?
In theory, it's on the
Check
website.
yours,
Mine
Carrie.
might be.
Yeah, check yours, Carrie. It might
Yeah,
be in.
I think it is. So yeah, I'll find out.
Yeah, so if you want to re-up it, just call Rebecca. Rebecca's handling that, Suzanne?
In Jeannie Mac's absence, yes.
Okay.
I figured there might be a waiver with COVID.
It's hard. The state's pulling back all the waivers for most things. So I think we're back to the old method
Oh,
doing it.
okay.
Because I know that
so like healthcare, we're still extending. So yeah, I'll look
Right.
into it.
When
right,
do you guys want to meet? When do you guys want to meet again? Rebecca, you'll let us know.
Well, no, it might be good to organize that now and see what is Thursday a good day for people?
Yeah, does it always have to be this late?
not for me. But Carrie works.
Carrie does.
Well, yeah, but
Kevin
if
works.
I can carve out time, it was my own misunderstanding. For some reason, in my head, it was 6:30. So my bad. I can carve out time at work and just, especially if it's Zoom. If it's not in person, I can Zoom anywhere. Like I
Okay.
am right now off the highway.
That's nice of you.
I'm used to it. I'm so used.
How about you, Christine? What's the earliest you could meet?
I'm flexible. I'm pretty flexible. I'm usually out of work by 4.
Okay.
But I mean,
So-
can people meet during the day or only after 4?
No, I can carve out time.
Kev,
So
how
you-
about you?
Either he's on mute or he's not here anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, where are
No,
you?
he's on. Oh, he's here.
Probably better mornings, with my new, work in general. I don't know if that helps.
I like mornings. But
Um,
that depends on everyone.
So that would just be Christine and Carrie. We need to see if they can do
No, I
morning.
can, yeah, give me a time and I can arrange like my schedule.
Okay,
You know, I can
So-
always just get on Zoom.
Thursday,
That works.
Thursday mornings are not, that's the only day that's not. Is a Thursday.
okay. Well, it doesn't have to be, Thursday. It could be, let's see, what day is good for me?
Not Tuesdays because that's select board meeting.
Not Tuesday.
Yeah, not Tuesday. Anything else is fine with me.
So Monday, Wednesday,
And
morning.
Fridays,
You're looking at morning time.
fine with me.
Okay, so, do you want to do one in June? I guess,
Maybe we should do it the day after the election so we know whether we're dealing with cuts or not.
all right, okay, so, with the election is the 21st.
First,
So
which
we could,
is that a Tuesday or a Monday? I don't even know.
it's Tuesday, the 21st, so Wednesday, the 22nd in the morning would be 10
9,
o'clock, 9:30? 9 o'clock.
9:30 would be better because that gives me a chance to get in the office and get the overnight stuff straightened out before I go into a meeting.
So 9:30 rec committee. And Christine, you're taking minutes, right? So you can put that in the minutes. 9:30 rec committee, the 22nd of June.
And even if we're we should have hybrid capacity by then. It just means those of us who can meet in person will meet and everybody else can zoom in. It'll be fine.
So
sounds good.
when do you think that capability is going to be up and running, Suzanne?
Well, with any luck, they're installing all next week. So I'm hoping by the week of the 23rd of May, because the select board thinks they're doing it on the 24th. So I am pretty sure that they're planning to get it up and running by the week of May 23rd.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
So possibly some of us could meet in person and
Right,
the rest of us
Whichever-
could Zoom.
right. Whichever works for everybody. They can be, that's what the benefit of a hybrid meeting is people can attend in either format.
Right. It might increase participation.
Right, or the ability to participate for sure.
Right, exactly. So.
Sounds good. Alrighty. So Becky, I'll wait to hear from you on toddler and whatever.
And just as a point of information, June 22nd, 2022 would be my father's 100th birthday. So we'll celebrate that.
Oh,
Wow.
man. Happy
Channing's
birthday,
100.
Channing.
Happy birthday, Poppy.
He was a great guy. He was our bus driver.
Aw.
We
Three
love
chairs for the
We
bus
loved
driver.
him. He used to wait for me when I was late and he was
Aw.
a nice guy. Yep, because I lived on the end of a very long dirt road and my mom would, in the winter, drive me out in the old station wagon and he would wait,
Aw.
which was like a novel for us coming from New York where the buses didn't wait for you if you were
guy.
late. But he was very nice. Yeah. Used to-
Well,
All right,
wishing
well, I'll see you
wishing
guys
everyone
on
good
the
health.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. It's great to see you guys and can't wait to see you in person. And yeah, come by and see the new stage. We're about to put it up. It's gorgeous. People love the pavilion. We're gonna really maximize the use of it. So come by and check it out.
Sounds great. Let's have lots of fun there.
Good
Celebrate
night,
life.
ladies.
Motion
Bye.
to adjourn.
Thanks, Becky.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
All right,
Good
thanks,
work.